Shadow Blade is a game developed by Mage, originally released January 16, 2014 and published through Crescent Moon Games for mobile phones and devices. Later on, a more enhanced version was released for computers and home gaming consoles. This version was dubbed Shadow Blade Reloaded, with a lot more features upgraded and added, such as new levels, challenges, upgraded visuals, a level editor, and other things. This will be the version that I'll be reviewing today. I got the PlayStation 4 version, so let's get into it.
Like a lot of ninja games, specifically Ninja Gaiden, Shadow Blade story is about a ninja that goes by the name of Kuro. Enemies attack his dojo and takes his Grand Master away, so it's up to Kuro to chop down whoever is in his path, rescue his master, and stop a plan that involves an ancient power that can possibly destroy everything if left in the wrong hands. And that pretty much is the gist of it. It's pretty straightforward as far as the story goes. The presentation of Shadow Blade actually got some style to it. Throughout the game, during story segments, the art style which events are presented to the player are in comic book-like panels. When you get into the actual gameplay, you quickly notice that this game utilizes a lot of bright colors, which I can appreciate. The animation of just seeing this ninja doing acrobatic flips and executing your enemies you come by makes this ninja you play as look like a moving force in nature. The designs of the various enemies looks very cartoonish and has their own little charm to it. The levels you run across looks pretty to look at, and with observation, even from the first stages, looks very, spacious. The areas you traverse across all have different themes and color palettes that differentiates one level from another. Each level has a static component to its look, but it's the little added details in the background that makes the levels kinda pop out. As far as visual goes, this adds another level of immersion to its presentation. The music of Shadow Blade sounds like your stereotypical music you will involve in talking about ninjas. A lot of Asian-inspired music with a blend of other genres mixed in. You have some borderline electronic dance music, some rock music, some tribal, and some smooth ambient vaporwave type music on this OST. You can purchase this along with a comic and art book via Steam. From doing my research, I believe this is the only way you can get this OST. If you're interested, the link to where you can get this OST will be provided in the description below. So check it out. But overall, the music of Shadow Blade is astonishing and well diverse.
The sound design of Shadow Blade sounds really good and has excellent quality, especially within the killing sequences. Hearing the swipes of your sword slashes, your footsteps prancing around each level, and of course hearing the gashes and enemies choking on their own blood is well done. When you assassinate a target, the sound of a music note being played can be heard. During the moments of the story segments where the comic book panels are presented, the still images you see is accompanied with the sound of what is happening within each panel.
Shadow Blade Reloaded is a side-scrolling action platforming game in every sense of the word. Playing as Kuro, you're going to be maneuvering through many stages that can feel more like a ninja training course. You are doing all of this while trying your best to be fast due to the time clock at the top of the screen ticking away. The faster you are, the higher your scores will be at the end of each level. The add-on, of course, not dying. However, in Shadow Blade, dying is somewhat essential to the gameplay and understanding how to maneuver with the limited abilities and equipment you have. And to reiterate again, you will die quite a bit in this game. However, Shadow Blade literally gives you unlimited tries, so the urgency and anxiety inducing fear of game overs if you don't move just the right way is out the window. So no pressure here. To get a better understanding in this game is what would happen if you took the pacing and agile gameplay of Dead Cells, with all the platforming and fluidity of jumping ledges, combat, and trying to beat the time minus the variety of weapons though. Instead of those, you're just going to be working with a sword and shurikens for now. The flow of combat makes the adrenaline-inducing speed runs fun, and the more you play it, the more of a certain type of rhythm will be developed by the player. Thankfully, the controls aren't stiff, it makes you feel like a total badass when going through each level. Every level has various segments to them and can be breezed through in like 5 minutes or less. In these levels, you can collect these incantations. However, trying to get them is a challenge within itself, most of which will have you dying and trying to get them, and other times will just leave you asking yourself, how? After completing the first full level in all of its segments, the player is then introduced to the world map where these various stages and all these locations will be presented to you, pretty much showing you all the places you gotta get through. The pace of the game just keeps going without a moment of slowing down. The enemies you face off against can all be easily assassinated, but in regards to gameplay, some enemies, specifically enemies that use projectiles against you, do just enough to challenge the player's approach and add some sense of diversifying the gameplay, if not a little. Every enemy has a certain rhythm and timing when they attack. you'll become more familiar with the timing and get a feel of anticipating the attack over time. There were certain segments, specifically boss battles, where a cutscene appears, amping up the notion that you're going to be battling off against a challenging opponent, only to be disappointed, resulting in the players chasing or being chased through obstacles that you would normally do in any other level. Strangely enough, this reminded me of another game I played that kinda didn't meet my expectations within the boss battle department. I thought this until I got here, then I was like, okay, I'm worrying for nothing. This boss battle right here is what I was looking for, and it delivered. From this moment on, boss battles was something I didn't have to worry about, to say the least. For the most part, each stage follows a simple formula. Get through the stage, see a cutscene, and possibly another boss battle. The only difference is the change of background. This can leave the game feeling a tad bit repetitive. However, due to the addictive gameplay and how the controls make you feel like a ninja, along with the addition of optional challenges, more than makes up for this. Speaking of challenges, these things can be accessed through the main menu of the game. Each has their own objectives, which can be understood by the title of the challenges. I would consider these challenges as to what Metal Gear Solid VR Missions was to their main series. Just a way to test your maneuvering abilities through stages that are centered around a key building block with surviving Shadow Blade. Good luck on these. And again, some of them will leave you asking,
how, Sway?
With my experience with this game and taking into account my enjoyment, I'm going to give this game an 8 out of 10. It's a very simple game, not that it takes anything away from it, it's just that I can see how this game started off as a simple iOS or a phone game. The controls are simple and the level of fun in this game is really good upon initial playthrough. However, after completing Shadow Blade and experiencing everything it has to offer, it's not something that I can personally see myself coming back to in many cases. The original Shadow Blade is available for the Ouya, Android, and iOS. But the enhanced Shadow Blade Reloaded is available for Steam, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Wii U. This game is only for $10. Considering the price for what you get, I would recommend this game for casual gamers who are looking for something fun to play.